Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History on This Day, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the box below. I am once again joined today by the awesome
Fire Marshal Bill.
Fire Marshal
Now
Bill.
Now
Fire
upgraded
Muffin
to
Bill
Fire
today.
Muffin.
Yeah, he's a fire muffin. And my brother Hawk here, behind the script. He thinks he can hide, but no he can't. Anyway, on with the show. Today is Wednesday, aka Odin's Day, aka Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. In 1477, during the Battle of Nancy, Charles the Bold was defeated and killed in a conflict with René II, Duke of Lorraine. Burgundy subsequently became part of France. So, yeah, France grew.
Yeah.
Speaking of France, we're going to jump up a couple hundred years to 1757. Louis XI of France survived an assassination attempt by Robert Francois d'Amiens, the last person eventually to be executed in France by drawing and quartering, which is the traditional and gruesome form of capital punishment used for regicides. For those of you who do not know what drawing and quartering is that's when they tie ropes to your wrists and ankles, and then each individual rope goes to a different horse, and they all pull you in different directions. And yes, you rip apart.
You feel every single tear. Brutal way to die.
Yeah. I'd rather be burned at the stake.
No, I'd rather not neither. I'd rather have my pillow suffocated over my face.
Yes.
Well, I'll take this one. In 1781,
Alright.
American Revolutionary War, Richmond, Virginia was burned by British naval forces led by Benedict Arnold.
Damn you, Benedict Arnold!
Your breakfast is amazing, but you're an asshole.
Jumping on up to 1875, the Palais Garnier, one of the most famous opera houses in the world, was inaugurated in Paris.
Nice.
Yeah. Jumping up 20 years in 1895, during the Dreyfus Affair, French Army officer Alfred Dreyfus was stripped of his rank and sentenced to life imprisonment on Devil's Island. For those not in the know, I did cover this a couple weeks ago in an earlier show. This guy Alfred Dreyfus was wrongfully accused of treason, and there is some kind of conspiracy going on, and he was like a fall guy or something, and eventually he got his honors back, but he almost got assassinated, or he almost got killed by a firing squad or something like that. Moving on up to 1900, the Irish nationalist leader John Edward Redmond called for a revolt against British rule. Them Irish and Scottish always wanting their freedom.
And you're always fighting against the English for it.
Yep.
I got this one in 1911. Kappa Alpha Psi, the world's oldest and largest black fraternity, was founded in Indiana University.
Cool. Yeah, the world was a lot of a different place 100 years ago, and it's interesting that they allowed a black fraternity back then. That's a while ago. That's really cool.
I'm probably saying, you did what?
You did what? Moving on up to the next year, in 1912, the Sixth All-Russian Conference of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party, the Prague Party Conference, opened. In the course of this conference, Vladimir Lenin and his supporters broke from the rest of the party to form the Bolshevik movement. So we had the Bolsheviks and the other Sheviks.
Yeah.
Bolshevik meaning the majority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to take this one? Do you want hopscotch?
Yes, I will.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a hopscotch. 1913, the First Balkan War. The Battle of Lemnos began. Greek Admiral Palvus Kortorinus forced the Turkish fleet to retreat to its base within the Dardanelles, from which it did not venture for the rest of the war.
So that sucks. The entire war, they were just trapped there.
They got pushed into a corner and was told to stay there.
Get to the corner and think about your life.
Yeah, punished. No dessert.
Moving on up to 1914, the Ford Motor Company announced an 8-hour workday and minimum daily wage of $5 in salary plus bonuses. $5.
Yeah, $5 during that day was a lot.
What was that? 1919. 1919. $5. It's equivalent $80.33 today. So that's about on par with how much one would make. Well, not with the current $15 minimum wage, but back when back when I was working, when minimum wage was what, like 8.25 or something. No, $9, $10. Yeah, $10. $10 an hour. 8 hours, if you get that. So actually, no, that's better pay when you start thinking about all the semantics about the employment today. You know,
Exactly.
how they keep you under, like, 30 hours to have enough wiggle room so that way you don't get benefits just in case they need you on for another day if somebody calls out. Not good.
Okay, I got this one. In 1919, the German Workers' Party, which would become the Nazi Party, was founded in Munich.
Ah, happy birthday, you heathens.
Yeah, heathens.
bunch of hateful bastards. Moving on up to
Led by
1925, Nellie Taylor Ross of Wyoming became the first female governor in the United States.
that is interesting to know.
That was 97 years ago? It's 2022.
Yeah.
100 minus 3 is 97. Yeah. Your turn?
We already did hit. Yeah, in 1933, the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge began in San Francisco Bay.
Nice. I think it was the other day with Alice. The construction for Brooklyn Bridge began. We were talking about that. I don't remember what year, but it took like 17 years or something, and in today's money, it would have cost $1.5 billion or something crazy like that.
Oh God, that's so much.
I know. Yeah. But moving on up to 1941, Amy Johnson, a 37-year-old pilot and the first woman to fly solo from London to Australia, disappeared after bailing out of her plane over the River Thames and was presumed dead. So that tells me that they never found a body. The River Thames, that's like, that goes right through, like, London, right? So, like, she had to bail out right after takeoff, and they never found her. That's weird. Anyway, moving on up to 1944. The Daily Mail became the first major London newspaper to be published on both sides of the Atlantic. So it was the first major newspaper, though. That means that that's not the first ever. So a minor newspaper. You know what? Let's look that up real quick. First newspaper. First newspaper. The Atlantic is an American magazine and multi-platform publisher. Oh, I don't think this is the droid I'm looking for. But regardless, let's move on up to 1945. What happened in 1945?
The new pro-Soviet provisional government of the Republic of Poland.
Yeah, the Soviet Union recognized them.
Yeah, okay. And in 1949, Fair Deal program.
You broke up through that whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, try it again. In 1949, in his State of the Union address,
And what is the Fair Deal program? Let's see here. The Fair Deal is what his Fair Deal recommended that all Americans have health insurance, that the minimum wage be increased, and that by law all Americans be guaranteed equal rights. That is a fair deal. I think your mic is cutting out again.
oh, how about now?
I can hear you.
Too bad they don't honor that now.
Well, they do, except, like, you know, instead of, like, everybody having rights, nobody has rights. Nobody has anything. Everything's going to the state. Anyway, moving on up to 1957, in a speech given to the United States Congress, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower announced the establishment of what would later be called the Eisenhower Doctrine. And I think you might need to relog, because I can sense that you're talking, but I can't hear you. Under the Eisenhower Doctrine, a Middle Eastern country could request American economic assistance or aid from U.S. military forces if it was being threatened by armed aggression. Okay. So that allows us to intervene in the Middle East.
I have returned.
Welcome back. So, do you want to tell us about what happened in 1967?
I need to get back.
Hang in there, audience. We're having some technological difficulties.
In 1967, the Chimera of Democratic Kampuchea.
Where are you looking at?
1967, right?
The Cultural Revolution?
Oh shit, I read the wrong thing. Okay, 1967, the Cultural Revolution, the Shanghai people established following the seize of power from local city officials by revolutionists.
Yep, that's the CCP.
Yep.
Moving on up another year, Alexander Dubček came to power in Czechoslovakia, effectively beginning the Prague Spring. What is Prague Spring? A period of political liberalization and mass protest in Czechoslovak Socialist Republic. You want to take this next article?
Yes.
Yes.
In 1971, the
No, 69.
1969, the Venera 5 space probe was launched at
062808 UTC from Baikonur. Where is Baikonur? Let's see here. Map. Baikonur. What is this? Russia. Okay, Baikonur is down over here. Okay.
the Soviets again.
Those Soviets. Always Sovieting about. But moving on up to 1971, the 7.1 MW Tonghai earthquake shook Tonghai County, Gannan Province, China, with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 10, which is extreme. Between 10,000 and 15,000 people are known to have been killed, and about another 26,000 were injured. That's a lot of people. I think you're having mic problems again. Anyway, moving on up to 1976, the Khmer Rouge proclaimed the Constitution of Democratic Kampuchea. Where is Democratic Kampuchea map? It's over here. Okay, so it's over there. It's next to Vietnam and Laos, Cambodia. Is it Cambodia? I think Cambodia's up here. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard something. We had him for there a minute, folks. The struggle is real.
Yes, it is.
Well, moving on up to 1991, Georgian forces entered Chichikin Valley, the capital of South Ossetia, Georgia, opening the 1991 to 92 South Ossetia War. And if anybody out there thinks that you can pronounce this word, then feel free to send me a recording of you saying so. But where's Chichkovstada? It's over here. So it's over here next, between the Black and Caspian Seas. Nice.
Okay, I'll get this one.
All
It's
right.
1991.
You cut out again.
How about now?
There you are.
The Civil War. The United States Embassy to Somalia evacuated via helicopter airlift days after the outbreak of violence in.
Man. So how many times do we have to airlift people out of embassies?
Not enough, apparently.
Anyway, moving on up to 1993, the oil tanker MV Brer ran aground off the coast of the Shetland Islands, spilling 84,700 tons, which is 169,400,000 pounds of crude oil. That's a lot of crude oil.
There's a lot of that pollutant.
You want to get 2005, good sir?
That will. Thank you. The dwarf planet.
Broke up again.
How about now?
There you are. We gotta do a GoFundMe to get this man a mic.
International Astronomical Union find the planet for the first time.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that. Well, we heard a little bit, but not really a lot. If you don't mind, I'll just take over for the rest of the show, if that's cool.
Thank you. No problem.
Okay. In 2005, the dwarf planet Eris was discovered by Palomar Observatory-based astronomers, later motivating the International Astronomical Union, aka IAU, to define the term planet for the first time. And this is probably how they got away with categorizing Pluto as a dwarf planet. Bunch of tricksters. And last but not least, in 2014, a launch of the communication satellite GSAT-14 aboard the GSLV Mark II D5 marked the first successful flight of an Indian cryogenic engine. I almost had that perfect, but then I stuttered because I'm a moron. Births: Richard I, or Earl of Cornwall, 1209, English prince, nominal king of Germany. That makes it sound like he was nominated to be a king, which that's not how kingship works. But up until the 1900s, all the countries, well, even after that, practically all the countries in Europe and everything, including Russia, which technically is in Asia, they were all family members, cousins, aunts, nephews, brothers, all that crap. But we have Gaspar Flores de Abrego, 1781, the three-terms mayor of San Antonio in Spanish Texas. Yes, back during the day when Texas was owned by Spain, this guy was a mayor for 3 terms. We have King Camp Gillette, born in 1855, He was a U.S. businessman and founded the Gillette Company. So, some of you people out there might be using his deodorant. We have Kathleen Kenyon, 1906, English archaeologist and academic. Sam Phillips, 1923, U.S. radio host and founded Sun Records. W.D. Snodgrass, 1926, a poet for the U.S. Walter Mondale, 1928, a U.S. soldier, lawyer, and politician. He was the 42nd Vice President of the United States. Robert Duvall, 1931, U.S. actor and director. Phil Ramone, 1934, an African-American songwriter and producer, co-founded A&R Recording. Diane Keaton, 1946, an actress for the U.S. She was also a director and a businesswoman. We have Chris Stein, 1950, U.S. guitarist, songwriter, and producer. Stuart Raper, 1965, what an unfortunate name, Australian rugby league player and coach. Marilyn Manson, 1969, U.S. singer, songwriter, actor, and director. Bradley Cooper, 1975, another actor and a producer for the U.S. Then we have January Jones, 1978, apparently named after the month she was born in. She was actress for the States. And then we have Joel Thomas Zimmerman, also known as Deadmau5, 1981, born today on that year. A musician from Canada. So, see, how could Canada produce something like Deadmau5 and then turn around and give us something like Justin Bieber, you know? I thought what we had was special!
I thought you were about to pull out Justin Trudeau.
Yeah. Justin Trudeau. Oh, God. Anyway, the deaths today, we have Calvin Coolidge in 1933. He was a lawyer and politician for the States and also the 30th president of it. We have George Washington Carver, 1943, U.S. botanist, educator, and inventor. Wasn't he the inventor of peanut butter? Yeah.
Yeah.
Say what?
He invented many. You can hear me, right?
Kinda.
He invented many uses of the peanuts,
Many
like peanut butter.
The peanut, yes. The nutted pea. Then we also have Max Born, 1870, died today. He wasn't born Max. Well, I guess he was more. He was born so maximum that he died. He was a German physicist and mathematician. We have Tip O'Neill, 1944, U.S. lawyer and politician, 55th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. Sonny Bono, 1998, people remember him. He was a singer, songwriter, producer, actor, and a politician for the U.S. I didn't remember Bono being a politician, but okay.
Yeah, he was a politician before he died.
Well, I mean, he wasn't a politician after he died.
Oh no, he was a.
We have Norman Hetley, 2004, English biologist and chemist, co-developed penicillin. We have
nice.
Yeah, Momofuku Ando, 2007, a Taiwanese Japanese businessman, founded Nissan Foods. We have Jill Sayward, 2017, English rape victim and activist. May she rest in peace. And last but not least, Thomas Bopp died today in 2018, U.S. astronomer, best known as the co-discoverer of Comet Halley-Bopp. And that concludes the show. Once again, check the underbar for any links you may be interested in. For your dose of Past Events Daily, I am A.O. Xander.
I am Fire Muffin Bill.
And Hawk is Hawk, and you are you. Toodles!